You're watching News 5, part of the Scripps News Group.
We've all heard the headlines for so many years.
New this morning, Cleveland tops the list now. It is now the poorest big city in America.
Cleveland ranking dead last for one thing after another.
The worst city in America for black women.
But there is something we do better than almost anybody else.
Cleveland is a leader nationally in converting office buildings to new uses.
And now, other cities from coast to coast are trying to learn from us.
News 5's Michelle Jarbo explains.
And I think it's a Cleveland story, right?
Thousands of people used to work here every day.
We've taken a lot of lumps over the years, but we always come back.
Now the Rose building on East 9th Street is sitting empty, ready for reinvention.
So all of this will go down to the studs. On this side of the building,
B. Patel is a real estate developer working on a huge transformation.
this will be a 6,000 square foot, about 150 tabletop restaurant.
Turning a former corporate headquarters into apartments and a hotel.
Look at the ornate detail around the windows.
He took me on a tour from the basement
For me, this is what I look at.
to the roof.
Please turn this way. I mean, the view of downtown is just spectacular.
The Rose building is almost 125 years old. Developed by Benjamin Rose, a British immigrant who created a new business center for a growing city. Long home to Medical Mutual until the pandemic changed everything.
Did you ever think you would own something like this?
Not in a million years.
Now it's one of downtown's largest office conversion projects.
Of course, you can't do this with every building, right?
No. It's difficult to do this with most buildings.
That's true, but Cleveland has done this a lot, filling part of Terminal Tower here on Public Square with apartments and stretching down Euclid Avenue, remaking all these buildings and bringing us national attention.
We really are looked to as a leader where so many communities are trying to figure this out coming out of the pandemic for the first time.
Michael Deemer leads a nonprofit focused on improving downtown.
How many buildings have you repurposed? You know, off the top of your head?
I've lost track.
He gets questions like this a lot, this time from a West Coast lawmaker.
I think this may be the first time I've been visited by an
just
elected
glad you
official.
responded to my email.
Rob Nose lives in Portland, Oregon now, but he grew up near Akron.
Coming to Cleveland was coming to the big city when I was a teenager and a kid. This building.
He met up with Michael last year, and they let me join them for a walk.
These are all residences now, and then of course we've got the Shake Shack on the ground floor.
Made possible by a few things: tax credits for preserving history, creative people who can find ways to turn even newer office towers like this one into homes, and necessity, because for so long Cleveland had so many empty buildings.
It looks very different, a lot better.
At Playhouse Square, 84 apartments are about to open above the theaters.
You're going to get closet envied. I don't want to show you in here.
CEO Craig Hassel recently showed me around.
I mean, the great thing with these conversions is that these are very high ceilings with big windows.
Where an old corner office is now a kitchen with a marquee view.
No, it's pretty cool.
Hassel works in this building and says the dust and noise were worth it.
Having people live here, and more people live here, is only going to add to the vibrancy of the area.
This wall gets removed.
Over at the Rose building, B plans to start construction later this year.
The market is improving. More people want to be downtown. And I think it's a once-in-a-generation opportunity for developers and the city to repurpose a lot of these buildings.
One immigrant entrepreneur.
I was born in India. My family immigrated here in the mid-90s.
Preserving another's legacy.
And it will live on for another 100 years.
And keeping this city at the forefront of a national movement.
We absolutely love the notion of the rebirth of Cleveland, the revival of Cleveland.
Now, Ohio's historic tax credit program is fueling a lot of those conversions. And Lydia Mahalik, the state's development director, recently stopped by our newsroom. I asked her why state support is so critical for these projects.
They're super expensive, they're hard and complex to do, and there really is a tradition here in Cleveland that does these projects very, very well, and so we want to make sure that there are adequate resources to help them be successful.
Now, Cleveland will be in the spotlight for this again in just a few weeks. The International Downtown Association is holding a conference here in May, and office conversions, that's one of the big topics on the agenda.
Bet it will be. Michelle Jarboe, thank you so much. What a fun story. I mean, they truly are like the icons of our city, right? The bones that make our downtown, and they're beautiful buildings. So it's so exciting to see all this new life happening.
It's a fantastic story.
Just a
too.
period. Yeah, Michelle does such a great job.
Storyteller. Just fantastic. And I can listen to that music all day long. It's really good.
Downtown is very, very vibrant. I mean, when you go downtown, we'll run downtown sometimes during our dinner breaks, and it is just jamming. There's so much to do now.